So I don't know, it's been a bizarre thing. I've never seen anything like it. And that was from a psychiatrist at Quantico Brig. So are these conditions acceptable under military law? In the United States versus Berkeley, the accused alleged that he was placed in solitary confinement for an extended period of time because prison officials were attempting to break him. The court indicated that coercing a confession is not a legitimate governmental objective. Indeed, the only legitimate purposes are to ensure that the accused's presence at trial and security of the facility. In 2006, United States versus Crawford, the Court of Appeals for the Armed Services found a constitutional violation is established where conditions are unreasonable or arbitrary in relation to both purposes of ensuring presence for trial and security needs of the confinement facility. Manning was an exemplary inmate who never gave Brig officials reason to believe he was a flight risk, making these harsh conditions, controlled from the Pentagon, impossible to defend. As the Court of Appeal for the Armed Forces wrote in the United States versus Combs, the court will not tolerate egregious intentional misconduct by the command where there is no evidence of legitimate, non-punitive objective for the conduct complained of. What was the legitimate non-punitive objective of Manning not being able to lean against the wall while seated in his cell, lying down in his cell between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m., exercising in his cell, being forced to stand naked to get his clothes back, or being verbally checked every 5 minutes and waking him from his sleep to see if he was all right. The only purpose of these limitations was to punish, humiliate, or break Manning. No doubt Lieutenant General Flynn is well aware of how these stress techniques can break a person. Any claim that these abusive conditions were to protect Manning is undermined by well-known negative impact of solitary confinement. Numerous federal courts have taken note of serious negative consequences of such confinement. The fact is, confinement facility officials were actually causing Manning psychological harm, not protecting him from harm. Finally, the fact that as soon as he was sent to Fort Leavenworth, his conditions changed virtually overnight, demonstrating the conditions at Quantico were unnecessary. In multiple cases, military courts have found that dismissal of all charges is appropriate remedy for pretrial punishment. Not only was Manning's pretrial confinement punishment in violation of military law, in addition, after a 14-month investigation, UN Special Rapporteur on Torture Juan Mendez formally accused the United States government of cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment in violation of international covenant on civil and political rights.